Welcome to our Wednesday webinar. I'm Nancy McGee. I'm the Vice President of the Commemorative Air Force, and I'm here with our usual Wednesday webinar, except today we have a little different look to our webinar setup. Leah Block, our Vice President of Marketing, is busy. She had a conflict, and she normally is the person running things behind the scenes. So I have Brenda Townsend, our Director of Education, who's running things, and we are actually in my house trying to stay distant so that sound works. So I'm hiding out in a guest bedroom while Brenda's running mission control. And we are so thrilled to have you guys here. First of all, thank you for your patience on always the different look and the challenges that COVID throws to us. But you know, I am loving telling the stories that we have in the CAF. So many stories to tell, so many history stories, so many individuals to talk about. And today with us, we have the Tex Hill Wing, and leading the show with us is Jeff Schmidt. Jeff is the Assistant Director of the Cadet program, and really the focus is to talk today a lot about the cadets. But first, you know, Jeff, I want to hear about Tex Hill Wing. Where are you guys in the first place? You've got lots of people around, socially distanced, and wearing masks and being careful. Kudos to you guys. But Jeff, tell me, what's going on there?
Well, welcome everybody. This is a Tex Hill Wing. You can see we have some cadets and members with us here today to share in this webinar. Many more are at home, like you said, safely, socially distanced. We are here at Stinson Airport in San Antonio, which is a very historic airport. Our wing is the Tex Hill Wing, and that celebrates the, it honors Tex Hill, who was one of the volunteers who so bravely went to China to go fight the Japanese before our entry into World War II. And we're here to honor him and continue his legacy. What we're going to talk about today is our tremendous cadet program that I have not been a part of very long, but I tell you, I'm so proud of what they've done up till now. You'll be able to hear from the cadets later, and you'll get to see how excited they are about the future, and so am I. I'm so eager to be here. The hangar we are in is at Stinson Field, and this hangar happens to be the first place that Tex Hill took a ride when he was a teenager. He came here, and he and his friend paid for a ride in a plane, and that got him started on his flying career. So we're very honored to be in the exact same hangar where it all got started with our namesake of our wing. But for now, what I'd like to do is to bring up a couple of our cadets, and they'll introduce themselves, but they are essentially our cadet commander and captain and lieutenant, assistant commander, and they're going to talk about what the cadets have done in the past and what we're currently doing, and also the great ideas they have for the future. So here's Zero and Sarah.
Awesome. Welcome, Zero and Sarah. Nice to have you guys here.
Hi, everybody. I'm Zero Amaro, X-E-R-O, we spell it. I'm the captain of the Cadet Corps. To my left is Sarah.
Good afternoon. My name is Sarah Middleton J, and I am the first lieutenant of the Cadet Corps at the Tex Hill Wing.
It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to see everybody, virtually anyway. Geez, what to talk about? Well, what we've done so far in the cadet program is that we've been restoring our BT-13/Val replica from Tora Tora Group. Well, it was part of the Tora Tora movie back in the 70s. We've been restoring that one back to flying condition to take part in our, and hopefully eventually, our future air shows to get quote unquote shot down by our SNJ-4 Texan.
Are you guys okay if I interrupt with some questions as you're going through this?
Absolutely, go for it.
Okay. So you guys are restoring an aircraft to flight status. Do you have any skill, expertise, or background in doing that?
Not personally. I do not have too much experience working on airplanes, but I am very mechanically in tune. My father restores and works on old classic cars, so I've been around very old engines, just engines in general, for a decent part of my life. So knowing ins and outs of just any type of mechanical work is fairly easy to me. So planes are a new thing for me, but it's nothing out of my league. So.
I do not have any mechanical experience much at all, but I've still been able to help more, not really hands-on, but at most just cleaning and working more at the desk, kind of working on new ideas for the cadet program, working on stuff like that, more office-esque kind of work. So that's
Okay, let me ask you a question. I'm going to put you on the spot here, Sarah. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, as far as your mechanical understanding, skill set you need to be an aviation cadet, where did you start on that scale?
I started at a solid 0. Just to be honest, but I've been actually in the Tex Hill Wing for about 2.5 years. Wasn't necessarily active for a good part of that. I really became active about a year ago when we really started the Cadet Corps. But since then, I'd say I'm around a 5. I'd hope so. At least a little more in mechanically inclined. At least have an idea of what's going on now. I guess I've moved a lot here. Definitely.
Well, thanks for your honesty. Well, okay, I've sort of interrupted your flow because I know you had some specific things you wanted to share with us, so I'm going to turn it back to you to continue on.
Well, we do have to share just more or less updates on what we've been working on, our ambitions for the future, and what's really generally has been happening in the cadet program. And how everything really started and just everything really took off was, I want to say, about a little over a year ago. I joined the wing. My dad didn't make me join the wing, but he suggested to me. And the story with that is more or less goes along the lines of, hey, you're not playing over there. You know, if you go clean it, you think they'll take you up in it. And that just really started my whole career and just whole journey here to the cadet program. And after that, I just fell in love with the plane. I fell in love with here. I fell in love with the people around me. And I told my friends, like, hey, come join. It's work on the plane. Maybe they'll take you up in it, something. And 2 became 4, 4 became 8. And now we have a steady flow, about a little bit over 20 cadets that have joined the group and are active in the group. What we've been working on is mainly, like I said, restoring the BT-13 valve, getting that just completely stripped down and put it back together. Working on that, if not, doing maintenance on our SNJ, Old Yeller, and if not that, just projects around the hangar and anything we can help out with.
Good for you.
So we've gone quite far in the past year. Again, this is only been going on for a year, and there's not. We're making things as we go.
It's in its infancy.
It is.
It's very much in its infancy.
So yeah, so we started out with very few cadets. We're down to over 20. We obviously with COVID and everything, it's slowed things down quite a lot. We don't have not all 20 of them are here at all times, obviously, but we still have a good solid base of at least 20 right now. Currently, we've done everything from helping out with air shows, learning how to marshal, learning ground crew, learning more about just history in general. World War II history, learning about the Flying Tigers, which is what Tex Hill flew in. Learning more about just mechanics, obviously, and just planes in general. It's not something I'd ever expected to be able to do and learn. So this is just a great opportunity. It's just not something we've ever expected. Probably the biggest learning event or program that we've done so far with the cadets, and also anyone else who wanted to join, was the ground school for flying. the private pilot ground school, and we had that during the summer. So it was during COVID, but we had everyone separated. There was about 10 people total for the class. It went on for about 2 months, and we both have graduated private pilot ground school. And doing it through the Tex Hill Wing gave us the opportunity to do that. And then from that, we're going to be starting flight training. That's going to come up soon. We have plans and fundraisers and sponsors for that, and that's going to be the next big thing, education-wise.
Another topic I want to touch on, speaking of opportunities, one of the opportunities that came to mind was actually marshalling and learning how to ground marshal and proper techniques, and absolutely amazing guidance by our very own Mr. Marty Hubar, who has taught us how to properly marshal. About, I want to say, over 8 cadets have learned how to marshal, and it's really stuck with us. We I want to say this past Saturday, actually Sarah went up on Oyele for a first time flight, and we properly marshaled them out. And I hadn't done it in over 2 months, marshaling over 2 months. But as soon as I went into the motions, it just came back to me. It was like second nature. So that's it was really awesome to see the skills that I learned like over 2 or 3 months ago just come back to me like it was nothing. It was great.
That's awesome. Zero, say like 2 years ago, what did you think you wanted to do? Did you think much about career-wise, what your job was going to be? Did you have any aspirations?
Well, for aspirations and just dreaming on really what I really want to do, oh man, 2 years ago, such a long time. I had very different aspirations. I really didn't know what I wanted to get myself into. I knew I loved astronomy. I knew I loved the stars, and ever since I was about 4 years old, I love planes. I love the way they work, the history behind them as such an integral part of this tool of our everyday society. It's been a part of it for over 100 years now. From that just to music, and those are my general aspirations, and not really knowing what to do. But as soon as I got into the wing, I just fell in love with it. And it really set in stone my passion for airplanes, my love for flying, and what I wanted to do. So my aspirations, I want to say 2 years ago, were just very much up in the air, not knowing really what to do. Thinking about probably moving up north, maybe becoming a game warden or something involving nature. But now it's very much set in aviation.
Excellent. Do you have any specific path you're going to take within aviation?
I very much wanted to later on in the future join the Air Force, and hopefully, if I can, I know I can, be a fighter pilot and fly. I don't know, just something that's not heavy.
Sounds great. What grade are you in?
I actually just graduated high school.
Congratulations. All right. And Sarah, what about you? 2 years ago, what did you think you wanted to be?
I had a lot of different ideas also. It was again very much up in the air. I still have many different ideas and passions that I'd like to test out, to try. But joining here, this was never really a thing that I necessarily had thought of doing, anything with aviation. But joining here, I really just fell in love with it. It's just the fact that how just planes in general, just this whole group, just aviation. It's something that I hadn't really thought of before. And then I joined here, thinking that, oh, okay, I'm just here and whatnot. And but now the Cadet Corps is happening, and we're learning a lot more. And it's really become a passion that I started to love from coming to Tex Hill Wing.
So, any plans for the future?
For now, I'm still in high school. I'm a sophomore right now, so I still have a while to think about what I want to do. But I do want to have some part of aviation. I would love to fly. Again, I've graduated ground school, and I'm taking my next steps to start flight school. And just flying is just, it's so fun. Like I believe Zero mentioned, just this yesterday, I went up in our old Yeller, our S&J, just yesterday for the first time, and it's incredible. It's a whole nother experience. It's just so fun and awesome, and just it's a whole new perspective on the world.
Well, again, congratulations. That's fantastic. Now, when I took the job as the Vice President of Education with the Commemorative Air Force, I hesitated a little bit because my challenge was, how do I take this 75-year-old story of warbirds and World War II and, that all of that deep history and the history of the Commemorative Air Force, and yet, how do I apply that to educate in the 21st century? So are there things that you guys have picked up along the way being part of the Cadet Corps that you feel really resonates with you as far as for your own future, that maybe some skills or knowledge that you've gained?
Well, for me, it very much opened up my eyes to everything else that's around me. When I first joined the Cadet Corps, believe it or not, like my hair was past my shoulders. Quiet, reserved, I didn't talk. And as soon as I joined in here, our wing leader, Mr. Darren Bond, he helped me open up a little bit more. And he took me out on a ride on Old Yeller, and it just opened my eyes. It gave me confidence. It very much it really resonated with me. Seeing San Antonio from 2,500 feet up in the air, and at my age, what, 75 years ago, people my age, kids my age, sat in the very seat that I was sitting in, and we're learning how to fly. And after a year, they're about to be shipped off to war. Some might not come back, and some will. And that really stuck with me. It really stuck the history that I was in, what it means to really fly these planes. It's not just you could very much look at it as a machine, but it's not just a machine to a lot of people. It's memories. It's their history. It's what they do. It's what they did. So that's very much what stuck with me throughout this time.
Awesome. Sarah, what about you?
Lessons that I've learned is that there's even more opportunities than I originally had, and also just a new perspective. Because again, aviation and military and all of that is not really something that I was really used to, if that makes sense. It wasn't something I really knew that well, and then now it's just a whole nother aspect of another culture that I just hadn't really known that much about. So I've learned a lot from that. And then also the perspective of again, going 2,500 feet in the air and just seeing the world around you. The world seems a lot bigger up there. Definitely. Flying over San Antonio, right over downtown, you can't even see the end of the city. It's just, wow, that's just one city out of thousands that are all around the world. It's just, this world is so big. That was another eye opener, I guess. A lot of eye openers here that I never really would have necessarily experienced otherwise.
All right, thank you. Thanks for being my sales pitch for why education is so important. I appreciate that, because what I got out of that was listening to you talk about a lot about perspective, absolutely, and understanding your role in the world a little bit better, but also that confidence piece and the ability to communicate and collaborate with one another. Those are skill sets that are going to set you up for the rest of your lives, and you will always use them. Now, you guys have a lot of adults around the table. Are you keeping them out of the hangar so they're behaving themselves and you can keep your eye on them? Is that the deal?
Yes.
Yeah, they tend to go feral if you leave them alone too long. So what other things can you share with us about the cadet program?
Well, presently, we're planning on really making the Cadet Corps more of a organization right now, because right now it's very spread out. We don't have a set time and place and code of conduct, I guess, if you will. So right now it's really looking to the future and looking at, so what can we do to make it more organized, and to make it more to where we can organize it, to where we can learn more, to where we can do a lot more with that. So that's one of the main things, just organizing and really making it a complete core and group that's our own entity within the Tex Hill Wing. And then once that happens, our next biggest plan is to have more cadets, and that would be mostly just going around, just right here. I mean, there's a high school not even like 5 minutes away. So going there and doing more outreach, finding more cadets, finding just kids, just high school kids that are that have a passion for this. Bring them over here and say, look at these new opportunities, and give them opportunities that they would never have had before. So that's the future right now, is outreach and finding more cadets, and so that more people can have opportunities and have all these just have the same experiences that we've had, just eye-opening, amazing experiences that we've had just in the past year. So that's the future.
Absolutely. Too. We have many aspirations. A current aspiration is down the hangar is actually an older museum, Stinson Museum of Flying, and what we want to do is actually have a collaboration. There's not a lot of traffic coming through there, but there's a lot of traffic coming through here. And if we can get the word out to them, they can get the word out to us and to any kids and to anything. We can see ourselves having a very beneficial mutual relationship. And they have some amazing warbirds there too. And the future aspiration that I can certainly see is just getting one of them and just restoring it, whatever they have, an F4, a Starfighter, a bunch of other planes inside the hangar. And my mission, my aspiration is just to possibly restore one of them. Maybe not to flying condition, but very much to a showcase piece and show other people what we're capable of. Very much.
Awesome, thank you. You know, you guys have been so vigilant about keeping your masks on and stuff. I'm feeling really guilty here about asking you to take them off for the few minutes. So if you want to put them back on again and get more comfortable, I think we're probably at about a 15-minute mark where you've had your masks off in close proximity. So feel free to put them back on again if you want. But I do have some questions, and I think, Brenda, you might want to chime in with some questions from the audience. If you guys, have you talked about pretty much everything you had on your slate of things to discuss with me? I know you had a menu of stuff you wanted to talk about.
Well, our current projects, apart from the valve, but what we have restored or what we have been working on is one thing. Is our forklift. Now it might not seem like a lot, but our wing leader purchased this forklift for us to restore, and it was just this old rundown forklift, barely drove, and it came in here rusty, and we absolutely gave it a makeover. We painted it in the likes of Tex Hill's Bullfrog P51. We painted a tiger mouth on there. Gave it the word Bullfrog in a nice army green color, and if I remember correctly, we actually gave it a couple of confirmed kills, and it's just and to get something as just as something as minuscule, or maybe not even as important as a forklift, and to just completely transform it and give it a makeover and give it the likes of Tex Hill, it just goes to show what we're able to do. Not that. We've been working on our Jeeps mainly. We have a 1943 Willys Jeep and a 60s Jeep. Generally doing maintenance on that. Not that, just working on the valve, like we've said.
Outstanding. I love the forklift thing. And you know, you might think it's a little thing, but man, when you need a forklift, you need one to work for you, don't
Oh,
you? So it's a
absolutely.
big deal when you need it. I love it. You guys have got to send me some pictures of that.
All right.
All right, good. Brenda, do we have any questions coming in from the audience?
We do. We have one from Duncan. His question is, could you ask the cadets which they prefer? 21st century virtual reality, meaning computer animated games, virtual reality, or hands-on hardware technology from the 1940s? What are the best parts of each, and do they complement each other?
Wow. Okay.
Big question.
Sounds like a
Um,
star test question.
I
Yeah.
personally, I'm very intertwined with old and new technologies. I'm a tech guy. I love messing with computers. I know how to take them apart. I know how they work. I know how to code a little bit too. I know which not a lot of people do know how to. But I'm very much a tech guy when it comes to 21st century technology. And when going back to older technology, 40s technology, like I said before, my father he restores old classic cars. He has a '58 Dodge Royal, and myself I acquired a '58 Dodge Coronet just a year before his, and I'm currently working on to restore that. Non-running, but I know how to work it. I know how to take things apart, how to take the engine apart, and really just work on that. And what I've been able to see as technology has been able to comment each other is a lot of simulation, let's say taking apart engines or taking apart really generally anything, giving a better insight on how things work, knowledge that we're able to acquire through the internet and being able to put it on, being able to apply it to technology that's over 50, 60, 70 years old. Actually, it's really fun. It's really great.
Outstanding.
Currently, we're actually, the Tex Hill Wing is actually working on a virtual reality a flight, I guess. We are hoping to get a new hangar, and that would be a new display, I guess, a museum type thing, and having a virtual reality thing there, which would have, it'd be the virtual reality you see like in game and whatnot, but it would be for these old planes that are 7 years old. So that's where we're going.
Excellent.
That sounds like fun. I want to try that one. Okay, the next question is, it's pretty obvious that this experience has made an impact on you, and your enthusiasm kind of gives a hint into the answer to this question. But you have increased with 20 plus cadets. What's the secret to getting those cadets?
Man, generally the secret is you just tell your friends. I told my friend Ryan and Roman, hey, come down here. It's a fun thing to do. It's a fun pastime. Hey, go clean the planes. Let's just go hang out, do something. Just something to take the boredom off our minds, and we very much enjoyed it. And what I really want to say is just like the secret to it is just friends tell friends, and friends tell friends. That's really it. Two became four became eight, and as soon as I just spread the word around in my friend group anyway, everybody just started pouring in.
What sort of advice do you have for the old people who are running units around the country, or like Duncan in the UK, they're around the world and they're adults? And, frankly, you guys are kind of intimidating to some adults. They don't know what to do with teenagers. They're not used to being around you, and sometimes they have a very low expectation of what you can do. So let's say you're talking to one of those people who isn't really sure about having a cadet program and kids to babysit. What's your advice to them to get them to open their eyes and get started on a program?
One of the most important things is to absolutely be a mentor. Show them the ropes. Show them what to do, how to do. Show them how to be a leader. And just try to get them interested in what what's it's all about. Because I understand not a lot of people are going to be very inclined to work on planes or just be I don't know, old guys flying club. But it's as soon as you get them hooked on something. For me personally, it was very much mechanics. I love taking things apart. I love working on things, and I could do that here at the hangar anytime I want. That's the main thing that attracted me. But the biggest thing that I've been able to see is to really attract people and to have a good cadet corps is once you have cadets and you get to know them on a more personal level and who they are, what their character is, what are their morals, is very much just to be a mentor to them, be a leader, show them the ropes. Don't be too harsh on them because maybe some kids do know a lot about technology or whatever, wherever there is they're working on, but they need that little extra push, they need like little extra guidance, and not more of a parental figure, but more of a leader. How to do things, how to properly do things the right way.
Sarah, how do you feel about that? Like, what does a mentor look like to you?
A mentor looks like someone who you have a personal relationship with, but it's not a learning aspect, if that makes sense. They teach you stuff, and they teach you how things work, but it's also like, oh, okay, this is someone I know. This is someone who shows you the ropes, like Zero said. It's someone who's similar to a parental figure, but not quite. Just someone to show you how to do right. So how to do things, how to get things ready, and all that.
So can I summarize that by saying that, you feel like a mentor is kind of a cross between a parental figure and a friend, but somebody who gives you the opportunity to try to do things that you haven't done before?
Yes.
Absolutely. A key word is try. Let the cadets let the cadets just give it a shot. And if they're not comfortable with it, or they can't do it, hey, you're able to do it. There's a will. There's almost certainly a way.
All right, great. Brenda, how about any more questions from the audience?
We have one more, and it's, if you could visit any World War II battlefield, which would it be?
Interesting question.
This is an interesting question.
The Battle of Berlin.
Oh. I mean, I think I might just have to say probably the most common answer, which would just be D-Day, going to Normandy and all those beaches. One, just because it was the turning point for the war, for the Allies, and then also I have a bit of a personal connection. My grandfather landed on those beaches. So that would just be, I mean, it's just such a historic, again, it's the turning point of the war. I would like to go to the beaches of Normandy and where D-Day happened, and just see what people around my age, around Zero's age, witnessed. Yes, and see, and yes, that'd be where I would go. It's just the most common answer, but yeah, that's where I would go.
Sarah, you're a sophomore in high school right now, right?
I
am. What year do you take U.S. history?
I take U.S. history next year.
Next year.
Yes.
Okay, so the U.S. history that you've had in school so far took you, what, up to the Civil War when you were in the 8th grade?
Yes.
Yeah. And so how do you know about D-Day?
It's just I mean, not a lot I've learned necessarily from school. It's just from being here, and then two, it's almost common knowledge. I mean, there's very few people that I know that don't know about D-Day. They don't know about much about World War II. Again, a lot of it's personal, family. My grandfather did sadly pass away several years ago, but I did actually get to talk to him, and he would talk, not too long, not too much, but a few stories here and there about World War II and his experiences. So.
Well, I'd love to be with you when you finally get to see Normandy. I know it's going to happen.
I hope so.
Yeah, well, as Zero said, where there's a will, there's certainly a way.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. Well, you know, I can't thank you guys enough for the time you've spent. Our audience spends 45 minutes with us, an hour with us, but they don't always know, unless they've done one of these webinars from the backside of things, how much time you've spent preparing, thinking through, talking through the elements that you want to bring out and who's going to be involved, even down to setting up the technology and then practicing ahead of time. So there's a lot of time and effort that's gone into this, and you guys really made our time worthwhile today. Thank you so much for doing that. Do you have any final things that you want to say to our audience to wrap this up?
Thank you for, as an audience member, thank you for listening. Thank you for coming in and listening to what we have to say, and hopefully you learned something from what we've said in the past 15, 20 minutes.
But yeah, most certainly, thank you. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to talk, having us the spotlight just for a little bit, but to be able to express our information and our overall excitement of the Cadet Corps, what we've been doing here is an absolute honor, and I wanted to thank you all of us, thank all of you, sorry, and thank you, Ms. Nancy.
I appreciate that. I really want to thank you guys for paving the way, because there are so many deserving teens that would love to be involved in a program like what you guys have built there. And I know that it's been a struggle, because everything you've done, you've had to build it literally from the ground up, every step of the way, down to now trying to come up with your own protocols and your own rules. I know how hard that is. So I want to say a big thank you to you guys. Kudos to you for building that, because you're paving the way for a lot more cadets along the way. So I can't wait to get a chance to talk with you guys again and come down and see the program when we break out of COVID here. And just one more question too. You talked about what you're doing in COVID to keep yourselves connected when you can't be coming up to the hangar. So can you just mention a little bit about the tools you're using?
Mainly it's just been social media. For me, it's been Instagram. A lot of the cadets and just a lot of friends in general, we have Instagram, and we're able to have video calls and just group messages on there to generally stay connected and stay informed. And if not that, we have a Tex Hill Wing official group meet and a cadet group meet, which we're able to post any type of information that's what's going on in the hangar or what's going on outside in the world, where we're all able to share. Like for example, I texted today, hey guys, I'm going to the hangar to set everything up around 12 in the Tex Hill group meet. So that's a very useful way to keep in touch with everybody.
Excellent. All right. Well, Zero, Sarah, thank you so much. To Darren Bond, who helped set this up, and Jeff Schmidt for all the work that you've done putting this together, and for all the adults back there that you guys are babysitting so well. They have behaved themselves despite the fact that your backs have been turned. So much better than some of the classes I've had before, where they would have stacked the chairs up and been hanging the weakest member from the top of them while my back's turned. You've got them well trained, so good job. Good job. All right, well, thank you guys so much again, and thanks to our audience for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you back next Wednesday.
Ma'am, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, thanks.
Bye.
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 Okay.